Jason Statham, a name synonymous with high-octane action and adrenaline-fueled blockbusters, has carved out an impressive niche in Hollywood since his rise to fame. With a career that took off in the early 2000s, he quickly became renowned for his roles in films such as The Transporter, where he showcased not just his rugged charm but also his exceptional fighting skills. His ability to perform his stunts added a layer of authenticity that captivated audiences worldwide. Over the years, Statham solidified his status with franchises like Fast and Furious and The Expendables, where he often played characters marked by grit and determination. Beyond the explosive action sequences, what many fans admire is his unwavering dedication to portraying flawed yet compelling characters who battle with their own demons. This complexity lends depth to what could otherwise be mere archetypes of tough heroes. Despite his tough guy image, Jason has always had a softer side that resonates with fans. His roles often reflect themes of loyalty and love, revealing glimpses of sincerity beneath the surface aggression. Publicly, he is known for his reserved demeanor and sharp wit, preferring to keep his personal life private while charming audiences on screen. Yet beneath the veneer of celebrity and success lies a man who has faced profound loss. As an individual navigating Hollywood's pitfalls, Jason's journey has been marked not only by triumphs but also by heart-wrenching struggles, and it is this complexity that makes him relatable. Little did he know that today would thrust him into a moment that would challenge everything he thought he had come to terms with regarding love and memory. 15 years ago, Jason Statham's life was irrevocably altered by the tragic loss of his wife, a woman whose vibrant spirit pulled him from the shadows of his own insecurities. Their love story was one that blossomed against the backdrop of his burgeoning career, marked by quiet moments shared in cozy cafes and exhilarating adventures that often felt like scenes from one of his films. She was his confidant, grounding him when the pressures of fame threatened to overwhelm. Her unexpected passing left Jason shattered, the grief manifesting in both solitude and determination. The circumstances surrounding her death were shrouded in sorrow, a sudden illness that took her far too soon, leaving no chance for farewells or closure. He found himself navigating a world filled with reminders of what once was, every corner echoing her laughter and every song on the radio sparking memories he both cherished and dreaded. As the years stretched on, he built walls around his heart, channeling his pain into his work while avoiding deeper connections with others. Friends noticed the slight shift in him, how he could expertly portray intense emotions on screen yet often struggled to express vulnerability in real life. Despite his tough persona, Jason carried a weight that few could see, an unresolved longing for the love he had lost. Yet on this particular day, as he stood amidst a throng of strangers, the past would once again collide with the present. The imminent encounter would force him to confront not just memories but the essence of who he had become since that heart-wrenching loss. On what began as a day like any other, Jason Statham woke to the familiar sounds of the city stirring to life outside his window. The sun filtered through the curtains, casting a warm glow in his bedroom, but the light did little to chase away the shadows that had settled in his heart over the years. After following his morning routine, a quick workout, a strong cup of coffee, and a glance at his latest script, he set out, determined to keep the day uneventful. As he navigated the bustling streets, he couldn't shake the underlying weight of melancholy that accompanied him like a faithful shadow. He greeted fans with polite smiles and signed autographs, immersed in a world that both celebrated him and reminded him of things he had lost. Each interaction was a reminder of the vibrant life he once shared with his wife, moments that felt forever out of reach. Strolling through a nearby park, he found solace in the rhythmic crunch of leaves beneath his feet and the laughter of children playing, sounds that echoed memories of simpler times. Yet, even amidst this normalcy, emotions lingered just below the surface, fragments of joy intertwined with grief. It was a choreography he had come to know well, a dance of remembrance. As he approached a crowd gathered for an event in the park, Jason felt an unexplainable pull to join them. Little did he know that today would not only break the monotony of his routine but would also challenge him in ways he never anticipated, thrusting him into an encounter that would stir feelings long buried. As Jason moved closer to the crowd, the atmosphere buzzed with excitement and anticipation, yet he felt strangely detached. It was in that moment of distraction that he caught sight of a woman standing near the front, her laughter ringing out like music he had long forgotten. The sound tugged at his heartstrings, and as he turned to look more closely, time seemed to halt, his breath caught in his throat. The woman appeared strikingly similar to his late wife, her hair cascading in soft waves, her Smile radiant and familiar, for a heartbeat, the world around him faded away, the laughter of children and the chatter of onlookers dissolving into a muted haze. Shock surged through him like electricity, making his skin tingle with disbelief. Could it really be her? A flurry of emotions washed over him, hope tangled with despair, joy entwined with heartbreak that he felt rooted to the spot. Unable to move or speak as memories flooded back, her warmth, the sparkle in her eyes when she laughed, moments they had shared that felt both distant and achingly close. That in an instant, his mind wrestled with logic and desire. Surely it was just a trick of the light or a figment of his imagination. With each passing second, he battled against the urge to approach this woman who mirrored his past so closely. Would this encounter bring closure or simply reignite old wounds? As uncertainty gripped him, Jason found himself on the precipice of a choice that could redefine everything he thought he knew about love. And lost. As Jason stood rooted to the spot, the woman's laughter echoed in his ears, transporting him back to a time when life felt unburdened by grief. Memories surged forth like a tidal wave, the way she would throw her head back and laugh at his jokes, how they danced together under the stars, and the quiet evening spent wrapped in each other's arms. Each recollection was a vivid snapshot of love, joy, and an innocence he thought had long since faded. He remembered their first trip together. The excitement of exploring new cities and tasting exotic foods, her wide-eyed wonder at the world around them. They had created a tapestry of shared experiences that now felt painfully distant. The scent of her favorite perfume lingered in his memory, igniting a longing he hadn't allowed himself to feel for years. Yet with each cherished moment that resurfaced, he also felt the sharp sting of loss. It was as if he were reliving both the blissful highs and the devastating lows simultaneously. The laughter that once brought him joy now twisted into an ache that settled in his chest. The realization washed over him that while he had filled his life with distractions and accomplishments, there remained an empty space where her presence should have been. In this crowded park, as people moved about obliviously, Jason's heart raced with the weight of unspoken words and unresolved feelings. Was it possible that this encounter could lead him to confront not only his memories but also the path towards healing? The connection he felt in that moment begged for acknowledgement, an invitation to reconcile with both his past and present. As Jason's heart raced, he felt a tightening of uncertainty deep in his chest. The woman stood just a few feet away, her laughter still echoing in his mind, but as he looked more closely, doubt crept in with every passing moment. Was she truly the reflection of the love he had lost, or merely a striking resemblance conjured by his yearning? The line between reality and illusion blurred right before him. He wrestled with the concept that this could be nothing more than a figment of his grief, the mind's way of luring him back, tempting him with the ghost of what once was. Jason caught himself momentarily drifting into fantasy, scenes where he would walk up to her, her smile lighting up as she turned to greet him. Yet each time he snapped back to reality, that comforting thought was eclipsed by the sharp awareness that the past was irretrievably gone. Themes of longing and unresolved grief enveloped him like a thick fog. Memories lingered vividly, they were each a testament to a vibrant life experience together, now tangled with heartbreak. He questioned whether facing this woman would be liberating or shrouded in further sorrow. Deep down, Jason yearned for connection, but fear kept him shackled. What if this vision played tricks on his already fragile heart? In this moment of internal struggle, Jason confronted stark truths about the weight of memory, how it can soothe yet suffocate, navigating an emotional landscape laden with echoes of love intertwined with loss. As he stood there pondering these questions, he felt an insistent tug toward understanding whether reconciling with his past might offer more than just fleeting solace. As Jason remained transfixed by the woman in the crowd, the buzz of excitement surrounding the event hummed in stark contrast to his inner turmoil. Friends who accompanied him observed his sudden fixation with growing concern. They exchanged furtive glances, puzzled by the intensity of his gaze and the emotion that flickered across his face. "Jason, are you all right?" one of them finally ventured, their voice barely audible above the noise, but he barely registered the question. Fans nearby noticed their beloved action star's distraction and began whispering among themselves, speculating about what had captured his attention so intensely. Some offered sympathetic nods, while others merely shrugged it off, not aware of the avalanche of memories colliding within him at that very moment. To them, he was just another celebrity caught up in a fleeting moment, but for Jason, this encounter felt monumental, his soul wrestling with a past that had defined a significant part of his life. Yet amidst this confusion, onlookers noticed heightened tension in Jason's demeanor. The air was thick with unspoken emotions, laughter welled up nearby from joyous families and friends, creating an atmosphere of blissful naivety that only deepened his sense of exclusion. That he stood at the crossroads of joy and sorrow as their celebrations felt like distant echoes from another world. The juxtaposition of vibrant life around him against his emotional struggle unveiled layers of isolation he hadn't anticipated. Would they understand the depth of what he was experiencing? As Jason's heart raced under their watchful eyes, he yearned to break free from this unseen tether that both connected and isolated him, a poignant reminder that loss never truly leaves one side but shapes every interaction anew. As the laughter of the woman reverberated in his mind, Jason felt an overwhelming compulsion to follow her. It was as if an invisible thread had woven itself between them, tugging insistently at his heart. With each beat, the ache of longing surged within him, propelling him forward through the throng of people that he needed to know. Was she a mere illusion or a bridge to the past he had mourned for so long? He maneuvered through the crowd, his determination malleable yet fierce, faces blurred around him as he kept his eyes fixed on her, darting past families and friends, all encapsulated in their moments of joy. The vibrant colors and sounds of the festival faded into a dull hum, his world narrowing down to just this woman who seemed to embody everything he had lost. With every step closer, anticipation mingled with anxiety. What would he even say? Would she recognize the essence of the love that had been so fundamentally entwined in his life? Each thought raced through his mind like a movie reel, heightening the tension coursing through his veins. As he finally broke free from the crowd's clutches and reached her side, his breath quickened. The moment felt electric, charged with possibilities and memories waiting to be unleashed. That he hesitated for a fleeting second, caught between fear and hope. Would this decision to pursue her lead to healing, or would it unravel him further? In that pivotal heartbeat, Jason took a deep breath, steeling himself for what lay ahead, ready to confront the unknown lurking in this unexpected encounter. Jason finally reached the woman, the crowd around them fading into a mere backdrop for what felt like an extraordinary moment suspended in time. Her back was turned, and he hesitated for a heartbeat, a mixture of hope and fear swirling within him. Would she turn and reveal a face that held echoes of his past, or would he be confronted with the harsh reality that she was merely an illusion? With a deep breath that felt like it could either steady him or shatter him, he stepped closer. "Excuse me," he ventured, his voice barely above a whisper, trembling with anticipation. The moment seemed to stretch indefinitely as she slowly turned around, her features coming into focus as the noise of the festival dulled into silence. When their eyes met, everything else disappeared. She had the same captivating sparkle he remembered, yet there were subtle differences, small nuances that grounded her in reality and reminded him that she was not his wife. A wave of conflicting emotions washed over him, relief and disappointment intertwined, creating a complex tapestry of feelings. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice thicker than he intended, masking the desperation behind the question. Her expression shifted from surprise to curiosity as she studied him, and Jason's heart raced at the thought that she might share some connection to his life before loss. For what felt like an eternity, they stood there, two souls bound by recognition yet separated by time. In that charged silence, Jason sought answers not just about her identity but about himself. Would this encounter unveil truths long buried or dredge up wounds best left untouched? As he searched her eyes for understanding, he realized this moment could be the bridge he needed to cross from grief into acceptance. As they stood there in a charged silence, Jason searched the woman's eyes for recognition, praying for a sign that she understood the depth of his emotions. "Who are you really?" he asked again, his voice wavering, desperation creeping in. The woman hesitated, her gaze shifting as if trying to gather her thoughts before finally speaking. "My name is Emily," she replied softly, a hint of confusion in her tone. "I didn't mean to startle you. I often get told I resemble someone from the past." Jason's heart sank, the realization hit him hard. This was not the woman he had lost, she was simply a stranger who bore an uncanny resemblance to his late wife. Amidst the swirl of emotions, he felt a mixture of relief and sorrow. She was not a ghost from his past but rather a living reminder of what had been taken from him. Yet, as Emily continued to speak, something within Jason shifted. She shared bits about her own life, the struggles she had faced, and how she, too, had grappled with loss in different forms. It was an unexpected connection. The truths they exchanged felt deeply resonant. In that moment, Jason understood that while this encounter would not bring back his wife, it offered him a chance to acknowledge his grief without being consumed by it. That woman's laughter had stirred memories that shaped who he was, but now he saw an opportunity to create new memories, to step into acceptance rather than remain ensnared in longing. As they talked, the weight of loss began to lift. Slightly, he realized that healing could take many shapes, including the shared human experience of loss and resilience. In the days following his encounter with Emily, Jason found himself reflecting on the experience in a way he hadn't anticipated. Her presence had been a catalyst, stirring feelings long buried and awakening memories that had been locked away behind walls of grief. As he resumed his daily life, he noticed subtle shifts within himself, moments of clarity where sorrow once dominated. Jason began to embrace the notion that while his wife would never return, her memory could exist alongside new experiences. He took walks in parks where they had once strolled together, allowing himself to smile at fond recollections rather than feel pain. Each visit felt like a conversation with her spirit, reminding him of the love they shared but also urging him to live fully in the present. The laughter of children echoed around him during these outings, and instead of feeling isolated in his loss, he acknowledged the beauty around him, the resilience of life continuing to unfold. He started engaging more with friends and fans, opening up discussions about loss and healing. Sharing his journey helped others find their own paths toward acceptance, creating bonds through shared experiences of grief. Emily's words lingered in his mind, "We all carry our losses differently." This realization enveloped him with warmth rather than sorrow. It was as if she had unwittingly given him permission to reconnect with joy without forgetting what he had lost. In accepting that love can transform but never truly vanish, Jason steered his life towards healing. He recognized that moving forward didn't mean erasing the past, it meant honoring it while being open to new beginnings. With each step forward, he felt lighter, a testament to the enduring power of love and the possibility of finding peace amidst heartache. In the aftermath of Jason's encounter with Emily, he found himself reflecting deeply on the nature of love and loss. He came to understand that memory is not a burden but a bridge, connecting the cherished moments of the past to the new experiences that life presents. While grief can feel overwhelming, it also has the potential to catalyze profound personal growth and understanding. As Jason continued to navigate his daily life, he learned that embracing his late wife's memory did not mean living in her shadow. Rather, it allowed him to carry a piece of her spirit forward with him. He began to see how love could transform over time, shifting from a painful absence to a source of strength. With each step he took toward healing, Jason found himself more open to relationships and connections that had once seemed impossible. He discovered that sharing his journey of grief with others fostered a deeper empathy within himself. Conversations about loss became opportunities for connection rather than reminders of solitude. These exchanges enriched his life, deepening his appreciation for the resilience of those around him. Ultimately, Jason realized that while loss is an inescapable part of life, it can illuminate paths toward understanding and acceptance. The experience with Emily marked not just a moment of recognition but a turning point in his journey, a reminder that love endures beyond physical presence. As he embraced the complexities of his emotions, Jason felt equipped to face the future with a newfound sense of hope and purpose, cherishing memories while remaining open to what lies ahead.